United States Marine Corps is one of the hardest branches you'll enlist in, but if you manage to make it through this process, you'll be one of the few and proud who have ever taken this journey. Many men and women just like you have gone through our training, and many have not succeeded, and that is because we are the hardest branch you'll ever experience, and I'll show you why. We all have to go through the same process from recruiting to enlistment. These gentlemen are known as recruiters, and their sole purpose is to find individuals who want and are willing to devote themselves to this gun club and all of its challenges. Once you make it your decision to enlist, you'll move on to your next station, which will be MEPS, or the Military Interest Processing Station. This is where you'll get every examination known to man to ensure that you are physically ready for boot camp. If you make it through this process, and many people will not, you'll be given the enlistment oath and your ship date to boot camp. During your enlistment oath, you will affirm to support the Constitution and all enemies, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and obey all orders from the President, regardless of who's in office, when you arrive. Once you get to boot camp, you'll be greeted by this site, the Yellow Footprints, which is where many Marines have made their first steps as far as boot camp is concerned, and went on to do great things for this country and for their brothers and sisters. Once you arrive, you'll wonder when the screaming starts, and it starts the time you get off of that bus. You meet your receiving drill instructor, whose only concern is getting you through the receiving process and prep for what is to come. When you get there, you got to let somebody know you arrived safely, right? You'll get one phone call to whomever you choose, but you will only say what is allowed, which is the pre-planned dialogue that is there waiting for you. You can't tell people you love them, or you'll miss them, or anything else. It forces you to disconnect from what is comfortable. Next, you'll be given several things from undergarments to uniforms to toiletries, and it will all be the bare minimum, all while being yelled at and corralled into a line after line with a hurry up and wait mindset. In other words, you'll be rushed to do nothing for a while then receiving. If you thought a haircut couldn't be any worse, the workers here are not too happy with having to come cut your hair in the middle of the night, and they let you know it. Nothing is worse than being told your haircut looks like garbage when it's not your fault. This all keeps you uncomfortable in the long run, so get used to it. Once you make it through receiving, your drill instructors will be assigned to your platoon. These men will follow you everywhere you go. Anything you do will be done only after your drill instructor tells you to, and this is where discipline begins. Besides the physical challenges associated with boot camp, there are numerous mental and psychological tests that will ensure your mental strength. In the heat of battle, you don't want your mental state to be breaking down, so making you strong both mentally and physically takes place throughout training. The yelling comes with the territory. Drill instructors will test your patience and your ability to react correctly and quickly without any instruction on what to do. There will be times where you feel overwhelmed and frustrated, but this is all part of the process in making Marines. In other words, we are forged in the fire to be ready for the fire that is to come. Everything you will do will be done with speed and intensity, the Marine Corps way. We are a special breed with our focus being on discipline. You will say, "Aye, sir," "No, sir," "Yes, sir." So many times you'll be saying it in your sleep. But this is all in the process of making Marines. Another aspect that sets us apart from other branches is our focus on close order drill. This puts the actual drill in drill instructor. This is how past Marines moved in formation, whether firing on the enemy or marching to another location. This is how it was done, and we do it the best. As we progress through this training, we come to BWT, or Basic Warrior Training. In this time frame, we'll learn how to move and use cover. No, we will not be fired upon, but simulated battle is used to foster the combat mindset. Don't worry, you'll be doing this later in training as well. If you make it through this, you'll get closer to graduation and you'll be tested in a culminating event known as the Crucible. It's a 54-hour hard and arduous task that will test your mental and physical ability, all while creating the mindset of brotherhood and teamwork. Marines focus heavily on brotherhood. We aren't just another branch, as you would see on TV. This day I remember fondly. The hike back to Mainside from the Crucible. I remember seeing Marines from different eras along the route motivating us and encouraging us. While marching, our senior drill instructor sang a cadence that I still know to this day. You're literally at the doorstep of finishing, and this is one of the hardest parts of it. If you have never cried before, you will cry here. This is the emblem ceremony, where the very same drill instructors that tormented you and tested you will give you the Eagle Globe and Anchor, or the symbol of the Marine Corps. The feeling of accomplishment is overwhelming, knowing you just went through hell to get to this one moment. The Army, Navy, Coast Guard, and Air Force all receive a ribbon for completing training. We are the only branch that gives you a symbol of more than just completion. It's a symbol of pride, our prowess, and might. You are now a United States Marine. Finally, graduation. This is where you'll walk across the parade deck a new Marine. This day is what makes all the trials and hardships you face prior worth it. And it's with great pride I say welcome to the United States Marine Corps and Semper Fi.